When I decided to quit, my life by American standards was perfect. Chef's kiss perfect. I was a mom of 4. I was a grandma to 3, married to the love of my life, living in the suburbs, woke up every morning, sunshine, green everywhere, birds chirping. I was living a life. I'd get my cup of coffee in the morning, go on the deck, enjoy the fresh air in the morning. We had 2+ cars. All of our 4 adult children were building their lives. My youngest was in college, his 2nd year of college. I would pick him up on Fridays. He would always ask to come home on the weekend. And Sundays we'd go to church. My husband and I would eat dinner. We were essentially empty nesters. We had made it. We had made it to that point where moms feel like, okay, I've raised my adult children. I've devoted my early years to, serving my husband, my children. And I was like, okay, so what do I do now? What's next? And internally though, something just wasn't perfect with that picture. While I had accomplished everything that society said I should, internally, I wasn't fulfilled and I didn't feel peace. In fact, I was finding myself weepy a lot. I was finding myself exhausted. I felt like I was misaligned with my purpose. Even though I had all the things, I had ticked all the boxes. But I started thinking to myself, yes, I have this stable life, but why doesn't it feel like freedom? Why does it feel like I'm living in a simulation and things are just not, something is off, but I don't know what it is. And so what I realized is that even though I had all the things, it was costing me my peace. The Bible says, what does it profit a man to gain the world but lose his soul? And at 46, I felt like I had gained everything and I had done everything right, everything I was supposed to do, but I wasn't fulfilled. And I didn't want to see myself living the next 20, 30, 40 years of my life with this quiet, underlying, just like a pressure of feeling like I had went the wrong direction with my life. And so that's what led me to a major moment of clarity. And it wasn't actually when I was 46 that I experienced this moment of clarity. It was actually in 2017. So in 2017, my husband and I had went on a missions trip with our church to Kenya. I think we were there maybe 2 days. And we were riding and I told my husband we should move to Kenya. It was when I was there that I felt such an overwhelming sense of belonging, like I was where I belonged at that moment. And that's what led to me making the decision to, I guess, quit the rat race, give up the life we had to pursue something different. And I laugh because it sounds like the craziest thing to do. It's like, why would somebody, and I'm scratching my own head. It's like, why would somebody do that? Like when you've gotten everything. But the thing is, when emotionally and spiritually and mentally and physically you're out of alignment, you're not going to be able to enjoy the things of life that maybe you've accomplished if you realize internally that, you're not in alignment. So for me, staying in America, because I balanced both. I was like, okay, I created this life. I have this life. Now I'm a grandma, I have adult children. Like, how do I just pick up and not continue working and contributing to my 401k and building my business and these things? And so I had to ask myself all these questions. And when I began to weigh the pros and the cons, I realized that the benefits of taking that leap and going out and seeing if there was something different I was supposed to be doing compared to what I had envisioned I would be doing at 46, staying just felt riskier than leaving. It's like staying in the life and living the life the way that I was living it just felt riskier. And so I didn't quit the life that I had and what I was doing because I had all of this money. I quit because I had an awareness that there was something more purposeful that I was supposed to be doing with my life. And so that then leads me to saying, okay, all right, so what am I going to do? Right? I got to ask, what am I going to do now? Am I going to burn through this money? How many months of expenses does it cover if I say I'm going to live off of this money? And so I had to do all of these calculations, and it was both exhilarating and scary thinking about the possibilities, thinking about what if it doesn't work out. But once I weighed all the options and I thought to myself, I know I can always make money. There's never a lack of money. I know that this is not all the money that I'm going to have, that I will find a way to generate more revenue aside from doing what it was I was doing. And all of those fears began to dissipate because when I began to think about what my life was going to be outside of just the rat race, it made me so excited that all of those fears, they just began to dissipate. Now, yes, it did feel uncomfortable. 27K wasn't an ideal number. Yes, I questioned myself. I thought, was I having a midlife crisis? Am I going crazy? But when I began to put together a plan, when my husband and I started working through a plan, like lowering our lifestyle expenses, just reframing what we wanted in our empty nester years, and also began betting on skills that we had that could generate us revenue, and actually implementing those things before we actually took the leap. Those are some of the things that gave me that confidence that I was moving in the right direction. As every door opened up in terms of revenue, and just every step in that direction, it gave me the confidence that I needed. And so my life is completely different now. I have no regrets whatsoever because I've gained so much. And so, yes, while I don't have the life in the suburbs, going to church with my community every Sunday and seeing my grandkids and my children face to face as often because of our lifestyle, which I'll talk about in a future video, I've gained so much. I've gained my time. I've also gained back health because I was really sick. I was really sick when I was 46. And in the last 3 years, I have regained my health. I have, and I had even gained weight as a result of some of this. But I've also gotten clarity on what it is I'm supposed to be doing. My health has improved. I enjoy working out again. I enjoy eating healthy and making healthy food choices. I love our schedule. I love the revenue streams we have coming in, and I love building upon those revenue streams and just challenging myself to sharpen my skills and to get better at the different revenue streams that have manifested as a result of my decision to quit the rat race. Also, my marriage has gotten stronger. Our conversations are stronger. There are just so many benefits of this decision. So even though I quit the rat race, I didn't quit working. I quit to choose my work. I quit to choose my passion and my purpose and the things that were gonna fulfill me. So it's not that I just quit the rat race, but I quit that to adopt something better. And I think that's something that could be scary to someone at this age because you feel like you're starting over. And I always wondered, what will my life be like once I'm an empty nester, once I'm finished raising my kids? Because I did sacrifice a lot in terms of career to be a stay-at-home mom, be a stay-at-home wife, homeschool my kids, some of those things that I'll talk about in future videos. And I wonder what my life would be like. And I will tell you, making this decision has made my life so rich. So if I had to tell my 34-year-old self something, one thing I would tell my 34-year-old self would be stop inflating lifestyle and don't try to keep up with Joneses. Don't keep getting new cars and larger houses and doing all the vacations and all the things. Also, learn your numbers. Know what your net worth is. Understand finances. Understand how to build wealth. Understand how to multiply your money. The other thing I would say is build margin before you need it. And that basically means that, like, if you lower your expenses and increase your income, then you have more surplus in the middle. So you can do some of those things that you want, and it gives you an opportunity to have what I like to call now an opportunity fund versus an emergency fund. So I would tell my 34-year-old self not to focus so much on an emergency fund, building an emergency fund, because that prepares your mind for emergencies, but to focus more on having an opportunity fund. The other thing I would say is don't wait for the perfect savings amount. In order to live the kind of life that I live now, which to me is more elevated than the life that I lived prior to quitting the rat race, you don't need as much money as you think. It doesn't cost as much money as you think. I would also say your freedom is going to start with reducing dependence on things. Like if you feel like you need money or things to bring you joy, then it's going to be hard for you to kind of separate and make clear decisions when your decisions are made on money. So just understand that you don't need millions to change direction. What you do need is conviction and a plan.